Hello, I'm John Clarkson, and today I'm going to be reviewing two of the greatest racing games in the world. Ah, screw it, I'm crap at impressions, let's just play some Ridge Racer. Published and developed by Namco, Ridge Racer was originally released in 1994 on the System 22 machine and ported in September 1995. RR was also bundled with the PlayStation 1 console, but due to high sales, copies ran out fairly quickly and were distributed at the recommended retail price of £40. I'm also going to be reviewing Ridge Racer Revolution, again published and developed by the same people. This was released 8 months after the first PlayStation 1 game and further released the PlayStation's popularity forward, as well as adding more to the racing game genre. But before I show you any more gameplay, I think it's high time I introduce you to a good friend of mine, the Negicon. The Negicon was released with the official PlayStation console and was made specifically for racing games in mind. The Negicon's main innovation was twisting, which steered the vehicle either left or right, depending on which way the controller was twisted. Similar controls would be used for RC Tycos, and some cars prototype this. There's several ways of holding the controller, but neither of them are particularly comfortable. I don't know if it's just my hands or if the design was just that badly made, but either way it can make games literally unplayable. Now there's two ways to actually hold and use the pad, one being how you'd expect, like this, and the other being like this. The controller works really well in both Ridge Racer games, allowing for responsive and fluent movement. One thing about racing games that puts me off is that they're not always immersive, but here I actually feel in control. My only real complaint about this controller is that it hurts when used. After 2 minutes it gets really uncomfortable, and at the 5-minute mark it can become physically painful. This controller works, but Namco might as well have made the G colonoscopy. Anyway, it's high time I talked about the games. In Ridge Racer, the main gameplay objective is fairly simple. Complete the course in 3 laps whilst trying to get to the first place. You'll also be timed on this, but by going through checkpoints throughout the course, you'll receive more time. Your choice of cars is limited, as you only have 4 with very few differences. The most distinct thing about each car would be the colours, as the stats such as speed, handling and acceleration barely matter, unless if you've played this game enough times, your car's performance means squat. The number of tracks too is limited, as you only have 2 different ones. However, the game makes it 4 tracks because 2 are easy difficulty and 2 are tuned for a harder difficulty. I know Ridge Racer relies on replayability, but this is taking the piss. Surely Namco could have done a time crisis on us and added more stages and bosses. Well, whatever the case may be, Ridge Racer Revolution certainly makes up for it. Okay, so I suppose Ridge Racer Revolution doesn't add a great deal more than the original, hence why both games are appearing in a single video. The tracks have changed, and this time considered Negicon users far more than before, and even supports the link cable, allowing multiplayer on 2 different consoles on different TVs. It's a shame that this game doesn't support the memory card like the previous game though, as it offers much more such as boss battles and bonus tracks. In my opinion, this game is far more replayable thanks to its controller friendliness and map design. You can only use 4 cars at the beginning of the game, but if you beat Gallagher before the title screen you can look up to an extra 8 cars. At least the option is there, right? Not much to say about this one other than the AI seems a bit more intelligent at times, but not as much as the original game. There is an element of randomness with them because races seem less scripted than the first game, so that's a plus. Concluding the review now for both games, I have to comment on the graphics and soundtrack. The visuals aren't brilliant, but were at the peak of their time. Namco did a great job of porting the game onto the PS1 and had shown that graphics don't make a good game, but they sure help. The soundtrack too is pretty cool, my favourite believe it or not being Rare Hero. There's around 3 songs total including the Ridge Racer title theme, and while that doesn't bother me, I can see that being an annoyance to some. That's all there is to Ridge Racer, I'm afraid, but if there is anything I've missed out, I will be sure to come back to this and go over everything I've missed. But until the next time, I'm the Greasy Gaming, number 1 source for number 2 games, and ta for now.